Hello, everyone, and welcome to this presentation. Today, we will be talking about one of the biggest uh, air aerospace industrial maker, which is the famous Boeing. Specifically, here we will be talking about the innovation of Boeing, which is the Boeing 737 Max, and how it backfires when there is a miss of ethics. So just like to begin with a small explanation about Boeing. So Boeing was in 2011 having a very big competition uh, between Boeing and Airbus. Basically, Airbus have launched a brand new aircraft, which was the fuel efficient aircraft in the market, and a lot of airlines. I mean, like they love to keep the cost as low as possible. So for the same feature for the Airbus A320 Neo, which is like a fuel efficient, Boeing wanted to respond, wanted to respond fast. One of the main things that was Boeing wanted to do is to keep it as low cost as possible. So they already have a very good aircraft, which is the best sold back there. It was like the Boeing 737. So they decided to just like in order to keep it, as I said, low cost, they decided to make some kind of changes on that specific aircraft because a lot of airlines loved those aircraft and launch a new airplane based on that. So what was this called? It was the new Boeing 737 Max. So now, as we know exactly a little bit um of the history of the Boeing and Airbus competition back in 2011, just imagine being like one of those passenger in the picture. You are on just like a new brand new airplane. It's early morning in Jakarta, Indonesia, October 29th, 2018. Families, tourists, and workers are sitting into their seats on Lion Air Flight 610. The cabin crew goes through safe demonstration. It feels like just like a routine flight. The plane takes off, but just 2 minutes into the flight, something start to go wrong. The nose began to push downward aggressively. The pilots fight back, pulling up. It happens again and again and again. They don't understand what's happening. They weren't told this plane had a system called MCAS, an automatic software that's not now forcing the plane down based on a single faulty sensor. In the cockpit, alarms are going off, altitude is dropping fast. The co pilot scrambled through the manual looking for a solution that it's not there. 13 minutes after takeoff, the plane slams into the Java Seas over 700 kilometers per hour. All the 189 people on board are killed. Fast forward just 5 months later, on March 10, 2019, in Ethiopia, another brand new 737 MAX Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 is carrying 157 people, among them humanitarian workers, teachers, business travelers, people over 330 countries, including children. The plane take off from Addis Ababa. A moment later, the same terrifying pattern began. The pilots report the flight control problems. They pull up, the plane pushed down. MCAS has activated again and again and again. They are fighting for control of the aircraft. Their voices strain in the cockpit. Just 6 minutes after takeoff, the plane slams into a field, leaving behind a catcher and 157 shattered families. Two crashes, 346 lives gone, all because of the software system, rushed development, poor training, and critical failure of transparency. And this passenger never knew what we're stepping into on a plane with a hidden system even many pilots didn't fully understand. This is the two crashes from just one type of uh, aircraft, which is 737 MAX. The MCAS system. The MCAS system, which was back there as a monster that was pushing the nose, is actually a system which is maneuvering characteristics augmentation system. How this is works, basically, as is shown here in the slide, there was airflow coming to one sensor. This sensor indicated the altitude. So when the plane is nose up, it's indicating that plane is up, so the control can see it. So as I said before, the 737 MAX did have changes. One of those changes was the main engine. So the engine normally it's a bit backwards just for the center of gravity, so for the aerodynamics. So when they change the center and it affects the aerodynamics, they just like make something here, which is like what activated the MCAS. So MCAS actually moves the trim in order to give more aerodynamic to maintain the plane in a safe mode. So a data from the sensor, which was this sensor, is sent to flight computer. So if nose up flight, so the angle rise, suggestion and approaching stall, which is when the aircraft will be stalling back to, I mean, like it's not pulling or just like not flying, so will be down. In order to have this nose down, there is no other way beside of moving the trim by the computer. So moving that trim will have the nose pushed down, and then the flight could go in a safe direction. But as actually it's the this system is actually based on just like one sensor from each side, which is like this sensor. This is and that day, particular day, was faulty. So it gives the error to the computer that the aircraft was stalling and was pushing the nose back down, sorry, the nose down, and the pilot didn't know that because it was a normal flight, there is nothing to worry about. So when they saw that the nose go down, they just like pull up again with the wings, and there was like fighting against this hidden system. So this hidden system activated automatically and based on one sensor, which pushed the nose down repeatedly. This is actually a flight tracker from the both aircraft, just to have a look. The first one is here. It was from Jakarta, Indonesia, and this is like the 16 minutes of flying, and we can see how the curves starting to be very curved, which is uh, where the uh, where the pilots have a problem with the aircraft. So the same the same thing it's shown here. We've got a normal takeoff, and then when I reach altitude, there is this aggressive pushed back, and then push up and back and down, push up and down, push up and down, until it's just like falls. So where is the problem? The problem was that there was information that wasn't mentioned to the pilots. The MCAS was not mentioned in the pilot's manuals, and Boeing aimed to avoid expensive simulator training to keep the cost low. Even though after the first crash, Boeing started to recover or to make sure that the error not gonna be happen again. So they give this basic report, which is how to proceed when uh, the uh, the when the MCAS engage. So those are the just 3 points that Boeing mentioned to the pilots. The first one is disengage autopilot, sets trim switch to cut out, and use manual trim to recover and continue with the flight. Sorry. So this information actually wasn't enough because back there in the second crash, Ethiopian Airlines have already known about this procedure which Boeing made, but they were never trained for a real maneuver, and there was a lot of stuff missing. So one of those stuff missing was even like in the report which Boeing showed about the 737. There is nothing regarding the MCAS system or anything related to this hidden technology. So this is leads actually during the investigation from the FAA leads to the where to react to this tragedy. So those are actually the main countries where the 737 MAX 8 are facing bans, which costs to Boeing $1 billion, as all the 737 MAX jets grounded worldwide, and other investigation was launched. So the main error here, or the main question is, was it just a technical error? Well, no, it wasn't a technical error because um, one of the thing is the transparency about the MCAS. As I said before, Boeing wanted to increase and to respond fast to the Airbus, so they just like put everything away and sacrifice lives to the personal interest, which was the money, and to just like continue with the business in general. So when they ignored everything about safety and they put the profit over safety, this is what can be resulting. resulting in families, destruction, resulting in lives. And the thing is about Boeing, even though Boeing actually in the beginning, was blaming the pilots and airlines. And this is shows exactly that it was not just like a technical error, it's more than technical, it's as well uh, an ethical in the beginning, an ethical error which leads to this two tragedies. So what do we learn from this? Basically, ethical business must prioritize human lives over market competition. Transparency with stakeholders is essential, and engineering and ethical decision must align. So this is the CEO of Boeing, which at later on he came with an apology to all the families. So I mean, like knowing the error and wanted to gain trust again from the passengers, from the airlines, and build again this connection. So for here, we are on the end of our presentation video. I hope that it was enjoyable, and thank you very much for watching.